Hey, welcome back to HDpiano. This is Phil, and today we're going to be looking at Brick by Ben Folds 5, the intro. And that's going to sound something like this. Okay, nice. Let's start with the right hand first. We're going to anchor our thumb right on this A below middle C. And we've got this 2-chord pattern that repeats. The first chord outlines a D major chord, which is A, D, and F sharp. And our next chord outlines a version of a G major chord, which has a couple of extra notes in there, but that's our main structure of it, and we'll break it down right now. We've got our first chord, D major. We're going to start the pattern with an F sharp on top, and each chord has 8 notes. We're using eighth notes here, so 8 notes per chord, then we're going to change. And here's the pattern. We've got F sharp, A, D, F sharp. There's our first 4, again outlining that D major chord. So again, we've got F sharp, A, D, F sharp. Immediately following that, we'll go back to our A, then we'll play E, A, D. Alright, so we're kind of using our thumb to go back and forth between these melodic notes on top. So all 8 notes together, we've got F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A, E, A, D. All right, one more time. Here we go. Okay. Next up, we're not taking a break. We're going right to our next 8th note, our next group of 8 notes on our second chord, which is the G major chord. And that pattern goes like this. E, A, D, E, D, A, D, E. And those 8 notes again are E, A, D, E, D, A, D, E. So if we put both of those groups of 8 notes together, the entire pattern that we'll repeat goes like this. Now next chord. One more time. F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A, E, A, D, and next D, E, D, A, D, E. And then we'll repeat. Just like that. Alright? Now let's switch over to the left hand. Left hand is significantly easier. We're going to drop down here to a low D with our pinky, and we can rest our index finger here, our 2 finger, on the G above it. We're going to toggle back and forth between those 2 bass notes. So with our right hand, our first group of 8 notes, we're going to hold down that D for the whole thing, and that'll sound like this. Now as we get to our next group of 8 notes in the right hand, we'll switch our left hand bass note to the G. And so on. Let's repeat. One more time. All right. Now, that was 3 times through, just like they do in the intro. The 4th time, however, is a little bit different. All right, so let's take a look at the right hand for our 4th time in the intro. This is the last section that will lead us into the verse. It starts the same way. Actually, our first 8 notes of this here are exactly the same. It's going to be F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A, E, A, D. But here we change, all right? The second half of this pattern is going to start with our thumb A, and that's going to go A, D, E, G sharp, D, E, A, D. There's our group of 8 for the very last section of the intro. Once again, that goes like this. A, D, E, G sharp, D, E, A, D. And that will lead us cleanly back into the beginning of the verse here, which starts the same as the intro with our F sharp on top. So let's run that whole last section, the one that starts the same in the right hand but then finishes differently. That goes F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A, D, back to A, D, E, G sharp, D, E, A, D. Now, the left hand here is a bit different as well. Our left hand's actually going to reach up to a B above our previous position, and that's what we start that new last bit with. So when our right hand plays the F sharp towards the end here, our left hand's going to play the B bass note. Gives it a different feel for the chord there. Now when we get to our last bit, we'll play an E underneath. And then back to the beginning. So that whole last bit one more time in tempo, B in the bass, it's going to go like this. All right, let's put the whole intro together. We're going to do our original pattern 3 times, and then we'll do that last bit for the last one. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Here comes our third one. And B in the bass now for the last one. Just like that. Now our last step involves the left hand here. We got to add a little bit of rhythm to it. Instead of holding it out for the entire chord, entire right hand 8-note pattern, what we're going to do is add a little rhythm, and that rhythm pattern is going to be grouped into 3 notes, 3 notes, and 2 notes. In other words, we're going to take our 8-note pattern in the right hand and split it up into 3 groups, 3, 3, and 2, which add up to 8. In other words, we're going to hold our left hand first note here, that D, for 3 notes, and then we're going to play it again for 3 notes. Then we're going to play it again, hold it for 2 notes, and that's it. That goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. If you take a look at my left hand, you'll see it playing 3 notes, and then 3, and then 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And that's it. Now you've got it. So guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to practice. Don't forget to have some fun. Check back for the next videos on Brick for the verse and for the chorus. You'll be playing the whole song in no time. Thanks. See you next time.